Wristwatch check. Done. So that's it. I'm EDC Gunner. Thank you all for watching, and let me know in the comments which watch you want to see it compared next. Maybe with Orient Ray if you want to see it compared. In my opinion, Orient Ray beats both of these watches. Or in my next videos, I acquired Invicta just to compare and check out all of these watches. So subscribe and see you guys in my next video. Hey guys, welcome back. I'm EDC Gunner, and today we will have another duel video between legendary Seiko SKS 007 versus Vostok Amphibian Scuba Dude. So in the right corner we have Scuba Dude Vostok Amphibian 710 Ministry case, and in the left corner of this ring we have Seiko SKS 007, and 007 is the black version, 009 is Pepsi with the blue dial, which I don't like, I actually hate it, but these are two watches, and first things first, these watches are not perfect, but I think these are the best value for money in the price ranges. And speaking of prices, I paid this Amphibia is you can buy it. I paid 55 US dollars on Merano.com, and the Seiko 007 you can buy it for around 150 bucks. So you can buy almost two Amphibians for the price of one Seiko, and that's one thing I wanna get out of the way just at the beginning of the video, so keep that in mind all the time. And now I'm gonna talk about differences and similarities. Both of these watches are legendary, and they have legendary status in the watch community, on forums, and with the divers. Both are diving watches, 200 meter resistant, water resistance. Seiko is certified diving watch. Amphibia is not certified, but it can withstand that. Also, Amphibian, Vostok Amphibian has a unique look and different engineering approach to a diving watch than Seiko SKS, and if you want to learn more about it, check out the review I have on this watch. But basically, Russian engineers designed and figured out, they designed the watch that in a way that the water resistance and the water pressure works for its better sealing of the watch. So if the bigger water pressure on the watch is more tighter and sealed up. That was done with a different solution of the case backs and the glasses, but here when the water pressure is applied, this case is pressed against the seal and seal is wide, while this here Seiko is a standard Swiss approach to dive watch when you need the friction of metal on a rubber and just screwed in here. Both of these watches, it's argued, and actually some people proved it, can withstand even greater water pressure than they are rated for. When we are at the case backs, I just wanna show you this case back, and this Amphibia case back is pretty plain, has a little brush here and says Amphibia ancillaric and water resistant 200 meters. And here you have a nicer case back on Seiko with the famous tsunami wave here, a little bit of a Japanese art. It's absolutely beautiful. And when it comes to case backs, I like Seiko's case back more. However, the Vostok case back is more superior and it's more watertight because you have a ring here and the ring is screwed over, and this is just a lid, and you just press it and it's more water resistant, and you don't have to change seals that often, like on these watches when you screw it the rubber is damaged. Inside of these watches you have two in-house created movements, and in Seiko there's a now already legendary famous Seiko 7S26 movement. On Amphibia you have a movement, I want to read it, Vostok 2416B caliber automatic movement, and it's a 31 jewel movement, and also it's an in-house created movement which has also ability to, it's automatic but you can manually wound it. It has a complication, it has a date, and Seiko has a date watch. Other than that, the difference between two watches, when you look at them, you see crystal here, you see bezel, and the crystal on the Amphibia is plastic, acrylic crystal, so that means plastic. But the advantage of that crystal is that it will not shatter under huge amount of water pressure. It will not shatter, and it's slightly curved around here, around the edges, so it can withstand bigger and greater water pressure than the flat mineral hard wax Seiko uses. Downside of this crystal here, it will scratch easily, and hard wax is more scratch resistant. However, if you scratch Amphibia, you can easily polish it out, like for 15 minutes with some poly watch and other things. And hard wax, it's very much useless to try to polish it out unless you're a professional and have, or you buy some diamond paste. There's no way getting around it. So that's the crystal. The bezels are different, and I love this different bezel with Amphibia. Many Amphibia and Kandinsky's have very ugly bezels, but I like this one. This is a newer style bezel and I like it. However, some guys are using Seiko bezels. They remove this bezel and attach a Seiko bezel to Amphibia, and it completely changes the look of the watch, gives it another personality, and it looks fantastic. However, I think that just however it may look fantastic, I think it just gives you, it takes away from the character of this watch, because this watch has its own character, and when I see it on someone's wrist, I can notice and I can recognize what kind of watch is it. Same goes for this one. Other than that, the bezel, the look of the bezel, you can see the case of the watch is all polished, nice and shiny. It's all mirror polished, while Seiko has a combination of brushed and polished parts. Brushed is over here and from the sides polished. The bezel on Seiko SKX is a standard and it's a superior bezel to most of the bezels on any watch. Even I had the chance to see bezel, check out bezel on Longines Hydro Conquest, and the action, I must say, it's so far it's amazing. On this Seiko bezel, it just feels like a diving instrument. Here, bezel on this one is a coin edge bezel. The grip is not that great, and for first time owner, it has no clicks. can turn around either way in any direction and has no clicks. It may look a bit weird, but that's how it is with Amphibia, and that's the design and the uniqueness, and you gotta respect that. You gotta love it. I think the bezel on Seiko is superior and better looking and better instrument, and everything is better about it. So that's just my opinion. I'm just here to tell you the differences. The dial on these watches are here. The Seiko has a matte black dial, like dark gray, and Amphibia has the same dark gray matte black, but I like the color of the dial on Amphibia more, and the inevitable coolness of the scuba dude here. So we have away here the hands of the watch, but they slapped on a nice cool scuba dude, and I think that this scuba dude sold a lot of watches for them. However, I had to pick and choose. I would pick Seiko's dial because of the lume. The lume on this watch here, as someone asked me, is it superluminous, is it this, is it that? I think this is just a basic cheap lume they had and they used, and glows nicely, but it fades very fast. Comparing to this one, this lume is Seiko's Lume Bright lume, and it just glows like a monster in the dark and glows the whole night. In the morning at 6 a.m. Wake up and I can see what time is it on this watch. This one, no. So if you've been asking where are the bracelets, here are the bracelets, and these bracelets are equally bad in my opinion, but you cannot expect a great and nice bracelet for the watches of these prices, and they had to save money on something, and I'm glad they did it on bracelets, because you cannot have a $50 watch with a $60 bracelet for 60 bucks. So it makes no sense. And this is a Seiko's Jubilee stock bracelet. You can see it's very flimsy and rattly and has a hollow inner links, but it looks nice. It's like the Jubilee look, and it's very comfortable, and I've seen many people wear this kind of bracelet for years and never had issues with them. Same goes for Vostok's bracelet, and this one has less rattling and has a less stretching, so this one could argue is even better, but you can see it's also hollow links, the different bracelets, clasps, but it's all very cheap and feels very cheap, and it's not good at all, except they look nice. And that's it regarding the bracelets. To sum it all up, these two watches are amazing watches. One could buy at these price points, and whatever you decide and choose, you won't go wrong. One may ask, because Vostok is cheaper watch but has a lot of character, and Seiko is twice its money. Should you buy Seiko or Vostok Amphibia? I must say I prefer Seiko for its looks, for its capability, for its lume, for its status, for its iconic, I know, it's Seiko SKX, and in my opinion, I prefer this one, and it's worth its money. However, this watch is equally cool, and both of these watches have that cool factor. that sells watches and makes you wanna buy them. And this one is equally cool, most notably because of the scuba dude. Some people find it cool because it's Russian. I call this watches the AK-47 of watches, of Russian watches, because AK-47 is Russian, so is this watch, and they are equally rugged and reliable. And if you know anything about AKs, these watches are the same. Both worth of money. I think the Movement and Amphibia is better than SKS 7S26 because it has that additional option of manual winding, and they recommend you to service it every 10 years, while this one, as I had many 7S26 watches and they are not all perfect, and I prefer Seiko's 709 older Movements than this one, but they are both good, reliable, cliche word workhorses Movements, and they won't fail on you. Either way, the Vostok Amphibia is a watch for you if you want to be different, want to be cool. If you want to customize, both of these watches can be customized in different, most notable, you put a bezel of SKS here, it looks completely different watch. But other than that, these watches are two different entities. They are two separate entities, and they have place in your collection. They both have place in your collection. For some of you, these watches can be ideal beater watches, either one of these. Or if you are just starting out building up collection, start slowly with these two watches. You will have perfect watches for some, for fun, and they can take a beating, especially Vostok Amphibia can take a beating. Just watch Simon Green's video when he torture tests this Amphibia. He freezes it, he throws it off the freaking bridge, and it survives and keeps on ticking. So that's it. I have nothing else to say. Both great watches, both great value, and just excellent pieces. Here we have either these watches. So that's it. I'm EDC Gunner. Thank you all for watching, and let me know in the comments which watch you want to see it compared next. Maybe with Orient Ray if you want to see it compared. In my opinion, Orient Ray beats both of these watches. Or in my next videos, I acquired Invicta just to compare and check out all of these watches. So subscribe, and see you guys in my next video.